Learn a digital multimeter in 10 minutes or less. In this video I'll walk you through all the critical information you should know if you are going to use a digital multimeter. This tutorial is geared towards future technicians and electricians in training, who should understand this tool before learning how to use it for specific measurements. Brought to you by the ElectroCoach. Safety first whenever you are working with electricity. Always know your limitations. When you don't know, ask. Be aware of your surroundings. Do you have enough light? Are there other human beings around? Always wear personal protective equipment when working with live or potentially live circuits. And always follow electrical codes and laws. There are good reasons for these rules. Stay safe. Before we get rolling, I ask that you press that subscribe button as a show of support for serious educational videos like this one. Also, if you don't press the subscribe button now, I may end up teaching from a dilapidated camper down by the river, eating beans right out of the can with individually wrapped utensils that I found. Here we have some examples of digital multimeters. Digital multimeters are also referred to as digital VOMs, short for volt-ohm meter, and many times simply called a digital meter. Digital VOMs are produced by various manufacturers, both reputable and completely unknown. They come in different shapes and sizes. They are also produced at different voltage ratings depending on their intended usage. A common example is a 600-volt rated meter, but 300-volt meters are also commonplace. It is absolutely critical that you never exceed the voltage rating of a multimeter, which takes us back to safety, knowing your limitations and being aware of your environment. Some models feature a rotary selector switch for choosing the functions, others feature push buttons, and some have a combination of both. All digital multimeters are capable of the same major functions. They are capable of voltage and current measurements for both AC and DC, as well as resistance measurements. From there, things begin to vary depending on the model. Some meters can measure capacitance, inductance, frequency, test diodes, transistors, and more. Some have audible tones and some do not. Some have backlit screens and some do not. Some have a rubberized carrying case and some do not. Here is a classic analog multimeter, the Simpson 260. It is capable of voltage, current, and resistance measurements, however the reading needs to be interpreted by the location of the needle. And the value is calculated based on the scale that was selected using the rotary switch. Analog and digital meters can take the exact same measurements with the exact same results. But the digital meter is superior since the value is automatically shown on the LCD screen without having to put any thought into it. Digital VOMs are more convenient and easier to use than their older analog counterparts in most cases. Wait a minute, what's this thing? Why, it's the Wiggy. I like the name, but this is a whole different tool altogether. The Wiggy is known for its compact size and its ease of carry in your tool bag, but digital VOMs aren't much bigger than this, and they are tremendously more versatile than this tool. Besides, this thing is limited to voltage measurements only, so let's take a better look at all the functions of the awesome digital VOMs. For the remainder of the video I will focus on introducing you to the Fluke 179 digital multimeter. The Fluke 179 features a rotary selector switch to choose the major functions of the meter. Rotary switches are popular because they are easy to operate while wearing electrical safety gloves. Push buttons are used for secondary functions that are built into this multimeter. These include a backlight for the LCD screen, a hold button to freeze a reading, and a range button if you want to choose a certain range to display on the screen. The meter, by default, is auto-ranging, so it will choose the range that suits the measurement automatically for you, unless you select a specific range with the range push button. The yellow push button is a second function button for taking additional, but less common measurements. Here you have the test lead ports, 4 in total. You select the ports and insert the test leads depending on whether you are measuring voltage, resistance, or current. So for voltage and resistance measurements, the test leads are inserted here. The ports are clearly marked, and based on my experience, the majority of your measurement will likely use these ports. These ports are specifically for current measurements and are connected in series with an internal fuse. The fuse is required for current measurements because the meter can be damaged by excessive current. Current measurements are taken in series with the active circuit. Essentially, the meter becomes part of the circuit while the measurement is taking place. The fuse is there to protect you and the meter in the event of an overcurrent condition. So, a typical current measurement up to 10 amps would be made using these connections. In this particular meter, this circuit is protected by an 11 amp fuse located inside the multimeter. Okay, let's turn it around. The back of the multimeter is self-explanatory with battery access screws on this particular model. Some digital VOMs have a spring-loaded retaining cover that can be opened without the use of hand tools. In this case, the battery is a 9-volt. Some meters use a single 9-volt or multiple AA batteries. You may even find a single D-sized battery in some models. Let's look inside. By removing the 4 screws on the back of the meter, the outer shell comes apart, revealing 2 fuses inside, a 440 mA fuse and an 11 amp fast-acting fuse. Both of these fuses are rated for 1000 volt, the same as the meter. In the event that a fuse is blown, the fuse should always be replaced with exactly the same size and rating. It is okay to cross-reference to a different fuse manufacturer, as long as the specs are identical. Next is a critical component often overlooked. It's the test lead set. That's right, this is a critical component in the meter circuit since they are the link between the circuit being tested and the electronic components inside the meter. Pay close attention to the voltage and current rating of the probe set. The probes should be rated equal or higher than the multimeter. There are cases where budget-friendly meters sold at big box stores or tool discounters are being sold with underrated test leads. This is a major safety hazard and shouldn't be taken lightly. Okay, what do you think? Are we ready to use the meter? Obviously, off means off. Extend your battery life by always storing the meter in the off position when not in use. AC voltage is indicated by the V with a wavy line. This is the electrical symbol for a sine wave. DC voltage is indicated by the V with a solid and dashed line. The lines are the electrical symbol for direct current. Resistance is indicated with the ohm sign. The omega symbol is the unit of measurement for electrical resistance. Current is indicated with an A for amps, and it is accompanied by both the symbols for AC and DC since both the AC and DC measurements will be taken using this selection. These are the most used features of the digital multimeter. What happens if you select the wrong measurement? By design, the meter knows you are on the wrong setting and it protects itself, so you won't get an accurate value on the screen. For example, measuring AC. While on the DC voltage setting will result in a pulsating action or flickering on the screen, your first clue that you need to check your selector switch. Remember, these meters are robust, but not indestructible, so you do need to be cautious anytime you are around electricity. Most importantly, never, ever exceed the voltage rating of the meter. Making each specific measurement can be quite involved and won't be covered in this video. This concludes your introduction to the digital multimeter. The tutorial is your license to learn, and it is an excellent first step in becoming a skilled electrician or electronics technician. Subscribe to our channel and stay tuned for more exciting educational videos from the ElectroCoach.